The galaxy was alive with voices. Billions of signals crossed the stars every second. Empires sent their messages of trade, war, and diplomacy. Fleets moved like shadows between worlds. To the alien races of the galaxy, the endless chatter of space was as normal as the rising of suns. Yet in this endless sea of sound, one voice had been missing for thousands of years: humanity. For 5,000 years, no signal had come from Earth. No ship, no colony, no message. The records of humans were old and broken. Ancient archives spoke of a species that once stood tall among the stars, a people who were not afraid of war, a people who spoke with fire in their voices. But then one day the voice was gone. The Council of Worlds gathered many times to ask the same question: where did the humans go? Some believed they had destroyed themselves just as quickly as they had risen. Others thought they had fled to some hidden corner of the universe. A few whispered darker theories, saying that perhaps humanity had never left at all. They were simply waiting. For alien generations, the silence of Earth became legend. The star systems closest to old human, space turned into empty zones. Explorers who went too deep never returned. The few who came back spoke of shadows moving in the void, of wrecks drifting with weapons still armed, of signals too faint to understand but too sharp to be natural. These rumors made the silence even more terrifying. To young alien species, humanity was just a story told by elders to keep them cautious. But to the old empires who had once seen human warships with their own eyes, the silence was not comfort. It was warning. And then one day everything changed. On the edge of the Orion Arm, a listening post belonging to the Valari Alliance picked up a signal. At first, the operators thought it was just noise, stray waves from a collapsing star or the distant hum of a black hole. But the signal repeated itself. It carried rhythm, structure, and most importantly, language. The operator froze. The code was unlike any alien dialect. It was sharp, simple, and brutal in its clarity. Old records were called, ancient archives opened. Finally, a match appeared. The operator's eyes widened. It was human language. The council was called to emergency session. Representatives from 50 species filled the great hall. Holograms of the signal pulsed in the air above them. The sound was harsh, direct, and unmistakably human. For hours they debated. Some said it was a trick, maybe pirates using old codes. Others argued it was a ghost signal, an echo from the past traveling through space. But the signal repeated, stronger each time, and it was not a request for help. It was a call to arms. The message was clear and short. To all who hear this, prepare for war. The enemy is coming. We are awake. The hall fell into silence. Alien eyes shifted nervously. For thousands of years they had wondered if humanity was truly gone. Now they had their answer. Humanity was not gone. Humanity was not dead. Humanity was awake, and they were calling for war. Whispers spread across the galaxy. Fleets changed course. Spies searched for traces of human technology. Old enemies of Earth trembled at the thought of their return. And yet, some younger species felt a strange pull. If humans were real, if they had survived, perhaps they were the only ones who could face what was coming. In the far distance, hidden in the cold of a dead nebula, something stirred. Deep within layers of dust and gas, the engines of a warship older than empires began to glow faintly. Its hull was scarred, its armor heavy, its guns silent but not broken. The ship's name was the Iron Will, and inside, in the darkness, human. Eyes slowly opened after 5,000 years of sleep. The signal spread like fire across the stars. Every relay, every station, every listening post repeated it. Some tried to block it, some tried to hide it, but the message was unstoppable. It jumped from one system to another, carried on beams of light and whispers of radio waves, until the entire galaxy heard the same words. To all who hear this, prepare for war. The enemy is coming, we are awake. At first, panic ruled. Civilian worlds demanded protection. Fleets scrambled to battle positions. Merchants abandoned trade routes near the old human sectors. The Council of Worlds tried to calm the storm, but the more they spoke, the more fear grew. Everyone remembered the old records. Everyone knew what humans were capable of. The Valari ambassador stood before the council. His voice shook as he spoke. This cannot be real. Humans vanished. We all saw their fall. Their cities turned to dust, their colonies lost. This is a trick, a shadow from the past. But the Arkan warlord slammed his fist on the table. His kind had once fought the humans in open war and barely survived. No, this is no trick. I know their words. I know their voice. They have returned. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Some demanded unity. Others screamed for weapons. A few even suggested destroying the signal source before humanity could fully return. But there was one problem. No one knew where exactly the signal came from. The coordinates were vague, shifting, almost as if the source was moving. Scientists said it was like chasing a ghost through mist. The origin pointed toward a vast nebula at the edge of the Orion Arm. Inside that nebula, countless wrecks drifted, old battlefields swallowed by dust and shadow. No ship dared to enter, for sensors failed, and maps twisted into lies. Yet now, the signal was coming from there, from the place where no one returned. In the depths of the nebula, the truth was hidden. The Iron Will had awakened. Its AI core, silent for millennia, pulsed with new life. Systems flickered one by one. Engines hummed like ancient beasts ready to run again. Inside the cryopods, frozen figures began to stir. Pale faces, human faces, eyes opening to light they had not seen for 5,000 years. The captain of the Iron Will was among them. His name was Commander Elias Kane. When his pod opened, frost covered his body. His first breath was heavy, filled with pain and memory. He stumbled forward, staring at the ship that had been both his prison and his shield. He whispered only one word. Finally, the AI spoke in a cold but loyal voice. Commander, systems restored. Enemy movement detected beyond the rim. Orders? Elias touched the console. The war they had been waiting for was here. The harvesters, the ancient machines of death, had returned. The galaxy did not know it yet, but soon every star would burn. Back in the council, confusion deepened. The signal was now repeating in dozens of alien languages, translated perfectly. Some species argued that this meant humans wanted allies. Others warned that this was invasion. The young races, the Tavari, the Enli, the Morak, looked to the elders. They had never seen a human before, only myths. But their hearts burned with curiosity. If humans had survived, perhaps they held secrets strong enough to protect all. The elders were not so hopeful. The Drell sovereignty remembered when humans had shattered their fleets with brutal strategies. The Varn Dominion still held scars on their worlds from old human raids. To them, humanity was not a savior. Humanity was a nightmare. Still, no one could deny the truth. The silence of 5,000 years had ended, and the galaxy was standing at the edge of something greater than any war they had ever known. In dark corners, alien spies whispered. Pirate lords gathered weapons. Hidden cults prayed to the myth of humanity, calling them angels of war. Rumors spread faster than ships could travel. Everywhere, the question was the same. Were humans returning, as allies or as conquerors? Inside the nebula, Elias Kane watched his crew awaken. They were confused, weak but alive. Each one carried the blood of the old Terran fleet, soldiers trained for a war that never truly ended. He spoke to them with fire in his eyes. We were forgotten. We were abandoned. But the galaxy will hear us again. The enemy comes, and only we are ready. The Iron Will's engines roared louder, shaking dust from broken hulls around it. Slowly, the warship turned its bow toward the stars, its weapons lighting up after 5,000 years of silence. The message changed. It was no longer just a call. It became a promise. We are humanity. We are not extinct. We will fight. And for the first time in 5,000 years, The galaxy trembled at the sound of human war drums echoing through the void. The Iron Will moved like a ghost through the nebula. Its vast hull pushed aside the clouds of dust, its engines burning after 5,000 years of silence. The galaxy outside did not yet know the full truth. They only heard the signal. But here, in the shadow of broken stars, humanity was truly awakening. Commander Elias Kane walked through the long corridors of the ship. Lights flickered back to life. Systems hummed, and walls once covered in frost now dripped with water. Around him, cryopods opened one by one. Men and women stumbled out, weak but alive. Their uniforms were old, their bodies stiff, but in their eyes burned the same fire that had once shaken empires. "Where are we?" one of the soldiers asked, his voice hoarse. Elias stopped and looked at his crew. "We are still where we left, but the war we prepared for has finally arrived." The crew exchanged nervous glances. Many of them had gone to sleep believing they would never wake again. But now the ship's AI confirmed what Elias already knew. The harvesters, the ancient machines of death, had stirred once more. In the central chamber, the AI projected an image of the galaxy. Whole sectors glowed red, energy signatures twisted like storm clouds at the edge of the map. The machines were gathering, feeding, spreading. Enemy presence detected. The AI said, "Estimate, 1 cycle before first strike." The humans stared at the display in silence. They had waited 5,000 years for this day, and now it had come. Far across the stars on the old world of Earth, something else stirred. Earth had been abandoned by the galaxy long ago. Alien explorers who once tried to land on the blue planet never returned. They saw storms of energy around its orbit, shadows in its atmosphere, whispers in their minds. For centuries, it was marked as a forbidden world. No one entered its skies. But deep beneath the oceans, hidden under mountains and buried in deserts, humanity's secret machines slept. Vast bunkers held armies in stasis. Orbital guns, silent for millennia, pointed toward the stars. At the center of it all lay a core of energy so bright and ancient that even the Council's greatest scientists had failed to understand it. The Iron Will's awakening triggered Earth itself. Across the planet, vaults opened, sealed doors hissed. Ancient war factories came alive, their machines shaking off the dust of ages. In the ruins of old cities, blue lights glowed once more. Earth was not dead. Earth was waiting. In the Council, the news spread quickly. The signal had changed again. This time it was not only a voice, it carried coordinates. The Iron Will was moving and its destination was clear. Earth, the chamber filled with fear. "Earth is cursed," said the Valari ambassador. "No ship returns from there. If humans are truly waking, then they rise from a graveyard." But the Arkan warlord leaned forward, his eyes burning. "No, they rise from a fortress. If Earth lives, then every weapon we fear is still there." Arguments exploded. Should they stop humanity before it could return? Should they prepare for war against them? Or should they listen to the warning and stand beside them? No answer. Came only more chaos. Meanwhile, ordinary people across the galaxy began to whisper. The legend of humans was alive again. Smugglers told stories of human warriors who never bowed. Miners sang songs of soldiers who fought even when outnumbered. Children on distant colonies played games of the last human captain. For the first time in thousands of years, hope and fear wore the same face. On the Iron Will, Commander Elias stood before his crew. They were fewer than before, their numbers thinned by time. Yet each one was trained, disciplined, and hardened by the weight of history. "We were silent," Elias said, his voice echoing through the chamber. "For 5,000 years we watched the galaxy forget us. They called us myth. They called us dead, but we are not dead. We are not myth, we are humanity, and we return to war." The crew roared in answer. Weakness fell away. Fire returned. The ship's AI flickered with a new message. Long-range scans had detected something massive moving at the edge of the galactic rim. The harvesters. Whole fleets of them. Their dark forms consumed light itself, leaving only empty shells of dead worlds behind. Enemy units converging, the AI reported. Course toward Council space. Elias clenched his fists. The Council was not ready. None of the alien empires were. Their fleets were divided, their strategies weak. Humanity had seen this before. They had built their war machine for this very moment. He turned to his crew. Set course for Earth. We wake the planet. And then, we bring the galaxy to war. The Iron Will's engines blazed brighter than suns. As the great warship tore free of the nebula, every listening post across the stars recorded its re-entry into the galaxy. The Council tried to deny it, but the truth could no longer be hidden. Humanity was not only awake, humanity was moving, and every empire, every fleet, every ruler now asked the same question. Would the humans save the galaxy or conquer it again? The Iron Will cut through the void like a blade. Its heavy armor glimmered faintly as it left the nebula behind. For the first time in 5,000 years, a human warship was seen by the galaxy. Long-range scanners of alien fleets trembled as they tried to track it. The data was clear. This was no relic drifting aimlessly. This was a living weapon. Inside the council chamber, chaos spread faster than fire. Dozens of alien voices overlapped, some filled with fear, others with anger. "The humans are moving toward Earth," cried one envoy. "They are preparing for war against us," shouted another. But one voice cut through the noise, the voice of the Arkan warlord. His words were calm, almost cold. "No, they are preparing for something worse. Far beyond council space, in the dark frontier of the galaxy, the truth was taking shape. The being harvesters. They were machines, older than empires, older than most stars. Their bodies were black as void, their shapes shifting like shadows with edges of steel. Each harvester was a world in itself, a city of metal built only for one purpose: consumption. They consumed energy, matter, even light. Whole planets fell silent once they came, stripped to nothing but dead stone. For thousands of years they had slept. Buried in the darkness between galaxies, they waited. But now, something had woken them. Their fleets stirred, and their engines glowed with a hunger no species could satisfy, and humanity knew. Humanity had always known. The Iron Will's AI displayed the incoming swarm. Thousands of harvester vessels, their numbers so vast they looked like a tide of black suns rising at the galactic rim. Each one carried weapons beyond imagination, beams that cracked moons, claws that tore stations apart, clouds of drones that blotted out stars. The Council did not see them yet. Their sensors were blind to the machines. But humanity's systems, built in secret, hidden for millennia, could see the enemy clearly. That was why humans had fallen silent. That was why Earth had closed itself to the galaxy. They had been preparing. Commander, Elias Kane stood at the bridge window, his eyes fixed on the endless dark. "They are coming," he said softly, "and the galaxy does not even believe they exist." On Earth, the awakening grew louder. Gigantic silos opened in forgotten deserts. Weapons the size of mountains rose toward the sky. Orbital shields cloaked for ages shimmered into being, casting glowing nets around the planet. Oceans hid Leviathan-sized submarines, each armed with cannons that could pierce moons. Earth was no grave. It was a fortress. Signals pulsed between the Iron Will and the homeworld. Old war codes, updated with fresh strategy, spread like blood through hidden veins. Humanity was gathering itself. The crew of the Iron Will stared at the data streams. Fear touched some of their hearts. But Elias's voice burned through the fear. "We are not fighting for survival, we are fighting for vengeance. For 5,000 years we waited. Now we end the silence. Now we end the enemy." Back in the Council, suspicion rose higher. Spies reported strange energy spikes near Earth. Fleets whispered about human weapons that could erase worlds. Old enemies of mankind demanded immediate action. The Valari ambassador shouted, "If we wait, they will enslave us again." But the Marak delegate, one of the younger races, spoke differently. "If they wish to conquer, they would not warn us. Why would they tell us the enemy is coming? Perhaps they are the only ones who can save us. The chamber froze. Hope was a dangerous word. At the galactic rim, the first harvester attack began. A lonely mining colony, unprotected, watched as the stars went dark. Massive shapes blocked the sky. Their weapons fired once, only once, and the colony was gone. Not even dust remained. When council patrols arrived weeks later, they found nothing but silence. No survivors, no wreckage, just a dead world spinning quietly in the dark. But the humans already knew. The Iron Will had recorded the attack in real time. Elias watched the destruction with clenched fists. This is only the beginning. He said, soon every world will burn unless we strike first. The AI flickered. Recommend preemptive strike activation of hidden fleets. Elias nodded slowly. Humanity's silence was ending, not just with words, but with war. Whispers spread across the galaxy. The stories were no longer myths. Reports leaked of harvester shadows devouring colonies. Refugees spoke of entire systems erased overnight. Fear crawled into every empire's heart. And in the middle of it all, one truth remained. Humanity was the only species that had faced the harvesters before. They had lost, they had bled, but they had survived, and they had never stopped preparing. In the dark of his ship, Elias Kane looked at his crew, men and women pulled from time itself. Their faces were pale, their uniforms worn, but their resolve was unshaken. "We are humanity," he said. "We are the knife in the dark. We are the storm they never saw coming. And when the galaxy trembles, it will tremble with us leading the charge." The Iron Will turned its course once more, engines blazing brighter than suns. Its destination was clear. Not just Earth, not just the Council, but the heart of the enemy itself. For the first time in thousands of years, the galaxy would learn what it truly meant when humans went to war. The Iron Will soared through the void, a shadow of steel wrapped in fire. Its engines blazed like suns, carrying it across forgotten paths. Behind it, the galaxy held its breath. For 5,000 years, humanity had been silent. Now their voice thundered through every channel. "We are humanity. We return. We fight." The Council could no longer deny it. Reports came faster than they could be silenced. Entire colonies erased in seconds. Trade routes cut to nothing. Whole sectors falling dark. The harvesters were here, and no fleet could stop them. In the chamber, voices shook with despair. "We must beg the humans for help," cried one envoy. "No," shouted another, trembling with fear. "If we let them lead, we give them the galaxy." But the truth was already clear. No empire had the power to fight the harvesters alone. On Earth, the awakening reached its peak. Massive silos roared open, spewing flame into the skies. Ancient weapons lifted toward the stars. Armored machines, each the size of mountains, crawled from the ground. Hidden orbital fleets uncloaked. Thousands of warships rising from shadows like predators smelling blood. The fortress of Earth had revealed itself. Commander Elias Kane stood on the bridge of the Iron Will, staring at the holographic map. Red spread like fire across the galaxy. Harvester fleets moved in endless numbers, drowning systems, swallowing planets. His crew watched with grim faces. "We waited for this," Elias said. "We built for this. And now, the galaxy will march with us or burn without us." The AI's voice echoed coldly. "Transmission channels ready. Shall we send?" Elias nodded. Across every world, every station, every fleet, the same voice cut through fear and silence. "This is humanity. We are not myth. We are not extinct. We waited in silence for 5,000 years because we knew the enemy would return. They are here, and only we can lead the war against them. Join us or stand aside. The harvesters will not wait." The council trembled. Never before had such words been spoken so openly. For many, the choice was simple. The harvesters meant death. Humanity meant survival. One by one, the younger races sent their fleets. Small, weak, but willing. Others hesitated, afraid of humans, as much as the machines. Yet when the next harvester swarm erased an entire star cluster, their fear collapsed. Survival meant alliance. For the first time in history, the galaxy turned to Earth. The day of battle came. At the edge of the galactic rim, the largest fleet ever assembled gathered. Human warships, old and new, formed the core. Around them, alien vessels of every shape and size filled the void. Together they looked like a storm ready to fall upon the enemy. The harvesters came in silence. No voices, no warnings, only endless shadows moving forward, blotting out the stars. On the iron will, Elias Kane raised his hand. His crew straightened, their weapons locked. "Humanity leads," he said. "And today we end the silence with fire." The iron will fired first. Its guns, forged in secret and strengthened by time, spat beams that tore harvester ships apart. The rest of the fleet followed, the void lit with explosions, a storm of steel and fire unlike anything seen in galactic memory. But the harvesters did not fall easily. They swarmed, wave after wave, drones filling space like black rain. Alien ships were ripped apart. Moons cracked. Planets screamed. Yet wherever the line broke, human warships filled the gap. Wherever the enemy struck hardest, the iron will struck back harder. The crew fought like demons from legend, every move precise, every strike brutal. The council watched from afar, their fear replaced by awe. For centuries they had doubted humanity. Now they saw the truth. Humanity was not like the others. They were born for war. They carried a fire that no machine, no empire, no silence could kill. In the final hours of the battle, Elias gave the order that would echo through history. Activate the last weapon. From Earth, hidden beneath its oceans, a weapon awoke. It rose like a god from the waves, a cannon stretching across continents, its energy core brighter than a star. It charged once, only once, and fired. The beam cut through the void, slicing the largest harvester vessel in half. The explosion shook the rim, tearing the swarm apart. For the first time, the harvesters retreated. The galaxy had witnessed the impossible. Humanity had broken the unbreakable. As silence returned to the battlefield, the fleets counted their dead. Thousands of alien ships lost, millions of lives gone, but the galaxy still lived. On the bridge of the iron will, Elias Kane looked at the stars. His face was hard, his voice steady. "The silence is over," he said. "The galaxy will hear our voice again, and as long as humanity stands, no enemy will ever claim these stars." The crew bowed their heads. The galaxy listened, and from that day one truth spread across every world, every colony, every empire. Humanity had returned, not as myth, not as ghosts, but as the storm that would lead the galaxy into war and into survival.